Welcome back to the Jazz Pursuit. In this video, we're going to look at the classic ballad Moon River, written by Henry Mancini in 1961. The song first featured in the film Breakfast at Tiffany's, and since, there have been notable recordings from a range of artists, including Louis Armstrong, Sarah Vaughan, Nancy Wilson, and Frank Sinatra. In this video, we're going to break down and analyse the harmony, melody, and structure of Moon River, hopefully making it easier to learn and remember. Do like and subscribe, and for a PDF handout that includes the full analysis, lead sheet, and piano sheet music of our arrangement, visit our website linked in the description below. Right, let's get started. So, first off, let's look at the key bits of information. Moon River is in 3/4 metre and has been recorded in multiple keys. The original from Breakfast at Tiffany's is in F major. Frank Sinatra and Louis Armstrong recorded it in C major, and Sarah Vaughan in G major. For ease, we're going to learn it in C major. The form is 40 bars long, which is divided into an A-B-A-C structure. First, there's the A section, which is followed by the B section. Then, the A section is repeated, and the form ends with the C section. As you can see, the A and B sections are 8 bars long, and the C section is 16 bars. So that's the key bits of information. Now let's dive in and take a look at the harmony in the A section. When analysing harmony, it's common to refer to chords by numbers, as this allows us to clearly see the underlying harmonic movement. A seventh chord is made up of 4 notes: the root, third, fifth, and seventh. The chord number refers to the root note, and which degree of the home key scale the chord is built upon. The remainder of the chord, the third, fifth, and seventh, is then built using the notes of the home key scale, which in Moon River is C major. So, the A section harmony begins on chord 1, C major 7. Then, it moves to chord 6, a chord built off the 6th degree of the home key scale. A. The chord is then built using the notes of the home key scale, which means the third is C, fifth is E, and seventh is G. This chord is A minor 7, and chord 6 in any major key is a minor 7 chord, and also the relative minor. The following chords are all built using this same process. Next, the harmony moves to chord 4, F major 7, before resolving back to chord 1, C major 7. In these first 4 bars, the harmony outlines the main landing points in the key. It begins on chord 1, C major 7, then moves to chord 6, the relative minor, A minor 7. This is followed by chord 4, F major 7, before returning to chord 1, C major 7. Next, this movement from chord 4 to chord 1 is repeated. F major 7 to C major 7. The A section ends with a 2-5-1 cadence to chord 6, the relative minor, A minor 7. Up to this point, all the chords have been built using the notes of the home key scale, C major. However, in a 2-5-1, the temporary home key is the 1 chord of the cadence, so in this case, A minor. This means the chords in this 2-5-1 are instead built using the notes of A harmonic minor. The root note of the 2 chord is B, and the 3rd is D, 5th is F, and 7th is A. This is B minor 7 flat 5, also known as a B half diminished. The root note of the 5 chord is E, and the 3rd is G sharp, 5th is B, and 7th is D. So this chord is E dominant 7, which resolves to chord 1 of the cadence, A minor 7. This is a minor 2-5-1, as the 1 chord and target point of the cadence is a minor chord. In all minor 2-5-1s, the 2 chord is a half diminished chord, the 5 chord is a dominant chord, and the 1 chord is a minor 7 chord. So that's the A section harmony. Now let's hear it in time on the piano. And now let's take a look at the A section melody. The A section melody consists of 3 phrases and uses only the notes of the home key, C major. Phrase 1 begins on the 5th of the C major 7 chord, G. Then there's a tone approach from above to the 3rd of the A minor 7 chord, C. Phrase 2 begins on the sharp 11 or sharp 4 of the F major 7 chord. The 4th note in F major is B flat. Therefore the sharp 11 or sharp 4 is B natural. This is the starting point of phrase 2, and then it walks down through the major scale until it reaches the root F. The phrase then ends by rising to the 2nd G. When the 4th note in a major scale is sharpened like this, the scale itself changes from major to Lydian. Phrase 3 is a development of phrase 2. It begins by jumping from the root of the C major 7 chord, C, to the sharp 11 of the F major 7 chord, B. Then, just like phrase 2, it walks down through the Lydian scale until it reaches the root F, before rising to the 2nd G. Phrase 3 ends with a tone approach from below to the 3rd of the B half diminished chord, D. So that's the A section melody. Now let's hear it in time. So that's the A section. Now let's move on and take a look at the B section. First up, the foundation harmony. The A section harmony changed every bar. In contrast, the B section foundation harmony has a slower harmonic speed, and each chord instead lasts for 2 bars. The A section ended with a minor 2-5-1 to chord 6, A minor 7. So this is the starting point of the B section. From here, the harmony then moves to chord 4, F major 7. Then, it moves back to chord 6, A minor 7. The harmony rests here for 2 bars, which leaves us 2 bars away from the end of the B section. In these two bars, the harmony needs to move back to chord 1, C major 7, ready for the second A section. This happens through a 2-5-1 cadence. The 1 chord and target point of the 2-5-1 is C major, which means the 2 chord is D minor 7 and the 5 chord is G7, which resolves to chord 1, C major 7. Here's how the B section foundation harmony sounds in time. There's some additional chords that can be added to the B section, but we're going to look at those at the end of the video. For now, let's take a look at the B section melody. The B section melody is made up of 4 phrases and is based in the home key. As this is the case, it's easiest to learn in relation to C major, rather than chord specific. Phrase 1 and 2 can be learned together. Phrase 1 begins with a pickup, falling from the 3rd E to the root C. Then it jumps to the 5th G, before walking down through the home key scale from the 3rd E to the root C. This melodic figure is then repeated. The melody jumps up to the 5th G, before walking down through the major scale again, from the 3rd E to the root C. Phrase 3 outlines C major in a different way. It rises through a C major triad, from the root C to the 3rd E to the 5th G, then to the root C an octave higher. The phrase then ends by falling a semitone to the 7th B. Phrase 4 is a turn around the 6th A, using only the notes of the home key. Starting on the 6th A, it then rises to the 7th B, before walking down through the 6th A to the 5th G. The phrase ends by rising back to the 6th A. So that's the B section melody. Now let's hear it in time. The B section is followed by a direct repeat of the A section. This leaves just the C section left to learn. Let's start with the harmony. The C section harmony begins the same way as the B section, on the relative minor, chord 6, A minor 7. Then, it moves through a common harmonic progression found in many jazz standards, where the chord remains whilst the bass notes change underneath. It begins on regular chord 6, A minor 7. Then, it moves to A minor 7 over its 7th, G. So A minor 7 over G. Next, the bass note falls a semitone, from G to F sharp, now making the chord A minor 7 over F sharp. The bass then falls another semitone, from F sharp to F, making the chord A minor 7 over F. We can also think of the last two chords in this progression in relation to the bass notes. If we look at A minor 7 over F sharp in relation to F sharp, the A is the minor 3rd, C is the flat 5, E is the minor 7, and G is the flat 9. So this chord is F sharp minor 7 flat 5, also known as F sharp half diminished. If we look at the A minor 7 over F chord in relation to F, then A is the major third, C is the fifth, E is the major 7th, and G is the 9th. So this chord is F major 7, which is chord 4 of the key. The harmony then resolves to chord 1 C major 7, before moving to chord 4 F major 7. Then this movement from chord 1 to chord 4 is repeated. C major 7 to F major 7. The C section ends with another classic chord progression, a 1-6-2-5-1. C major 7 is chord 1, A minor 7 is chord 6, D minor 7 is chord 2, G7 is chord 5, which resolves to chord 1, C major 7. Let's hear the C section harmony in time. And now let's take a look at the C section melody, which consists of 4 phrases. Phrases 1, 2 and 3 are all similar to melodic ideas we've heard already. Phrase 1 begins with a pickup, falling from the 3rd E to the root C. Then it rises through a C major triad, from the root C to the 3rd E, 5th G, and then root C. This rise through the C major triad happened previously in the B section, but here it's been stretched rhythmically. In the B section, the phrase ended by falling to the major 7, B. Here in the C section, however, it instead rises to the 2nd D, which is the peak of the entire melody. From here, the phrase then falls to the root C before landing on the 5th G. A musically pleasing aspect of this phrase is the contrary motion between the melody and the bass notes. As the melody rises through the C major triad, the bass notes are falling, which makes the music feel like it's opening up. Phrase 2 of the C section is a repeat of an A section phrase. It begins on the sharp 11 of the F major 7 chord, B, and then walks down through the Lydian scale to the root F, before rising to the 2nd G. Just like the A section, phrase 3 is then a development of phrase 2. It begins with a pickup, rising from the 5th C to the sharp 11 B, before walking down through the F Lydian scale to the root F. The phrase ends by rising to the 2nd G. Phrase 4 is a closing phrase that we haven't heard previously. It begins on the root C, and then falls in thirds. Firstly, from the 4th to the 2nd, F to D, and then from the 3rd to the root, E to C. Through the development of previous ideas, the C section melody immediately feels familiar to listeners, even on first listening. Now let's hear the C section melody in time. So that's Moon River, and the last thing we're going to cover is the additional harmony in the B section. Currently, the first two chords in the B section last for 2 bars each. Now, rather than resting on each chord for 2 bars, we're going to use the second bar to set up the next chord, through a 5-1 cadence. The target point of the first 5-1 cadence is the F major 7 chord in bar 3. As F major 7 is the 1 chord, this means C7 is the 5 chord. In the second 5-1 cadence, the A minor 7 chord in bar 5 is the target. As A minor 7 is the 1 chord, this means E7 is the 5 chord. Here's how the B section sounds with these additional cadences. The final harmonic addition comes in the last 3 bars. Currently, we have a 2-5-1 cadence, which resolves to chord 1 in the first bar of the second A section. In here, we can add a string of 2 5s, which gives the harmony even more momentum. The starting point is the furthest possible distance, known as a tritone, away from chord 1. As chord 1 is C major 7, this is F sharp. If you superimpose a C major triad over F sharp, it outlines an F sharp half diminished chord, and this is the starting point. F sharp half diminished is the 2 chord in the first 2-5 cadence, which means B7 is the 5 chord. This B7 chord would ordinarily resolve to E, but rather than resolving, this E chord is E minor 7, and instead the 2 chord in the next 2-5. As E minor 7 is the 2 chord, this means A7 is the 5 chord. This A7 chord would ordinarily resolve to D, but rather than resolving, this D chord is D minor 7, and instead the 2 chord in the final 2-5. D minor 7 is chord 2, G7 is chord 5, and C major 7 is chord 1. So that's our breakdown and analysis of Moon River. I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Do like and subscribe, and for a PDF handout that includes the full analysis, lead sheet and piano sheet music of our arrangement, visit our website linked in the comments section below. Happy practicing!